So that's pretty powerful for it to come up there. Now, I'm wondering if for a lot of you, the completion of that cycle is to do with your heart's desire. Sorry, there's a glare right in the middle of that. Is that better? God, I'll spend forever fiddling around with these cards. We have the Nine of Cups coming up with the heart. So this is the wish card, right? This is your heart's desire. This is having more than enough. I always see it as a card of manifestation too. So if it's at the heart of your reading, this is going to mean two things. Well, one of two things, which is firstly that, you are very clear now on what your heart's desire is. For some of you, you've achieved it. That the world card, you might see the end of this month brings you your heart's desire, brings you your wish. And that's why that cycle's completed, right? Because when we're working on something, when we're moving through a cycle, it's because we have a goal at the end. We have something that we want to achieve. There's a dream, there's a goal, there's a wish that we're working on. And once we have that cycle completes. But we're human beings. It's not like we just get what we want and then we're happy forever. No, not quite. We get our heart's desire and then we want new things. And that's great. That's what being human is. But with that card coming up at the heart of your reading, so for some of you, you're going to, it's at the heart. So you're very close to this. You're close to achieving your heart's desire. That could be what the whole of the end of October is about. For others of you, it could be changing. With that cycle completing, that cycle might complete because, you've decided that that's not even what I want anymore. That's not my wish. And this can be to do with work, romance, any area of your life. I mean, there's so many major arcana cards here, but there's 6 cards and 4 of them are major arcana. So there's a lot changing and a lot shifting at the end of October for you, Aquarius. But whether you achieve your wish or whether, you just decide that that's not my wish anymore. Oh my God, I hope it's not the case for some of you where you actually get your wish and then decide that it's no longer what you want. That could happen too. It's going to play out differently for every single person. But what we can say is that there is a completion here. Now, the world, it's the final card of the major arcana, right? The card that comes before it is judgment. And you have that as a past energy. I actually love this card. It's the card for Pluto. So if the world is Saturn, karma, success for the work that you've put in. Judgment, it's a card of transformation, of change. I mean, both of them are. They're both cards of change. But this one's different. We talk about judgment card and we talk about transformation, renewal, rebirth, second chances. And they all sound really lovely. Like, the phoenix rising up from the ashes. It sounds great. And I said this to Taurus last time because I think they got this as an underlying energy. But the thing with the judgment card is that it takes a lot to get you to that place of transformation. It's not an easy energy. Think about it. If the phoenix is rising up from the ashes, it's rising up from the ashes because it got burnt. It got burnt to ash first. Then that's why it was able to be reborn and fly out of there. So, and if you have a look at these people, they're rising up from their graves. Yeah, rebirth. They're changed. They're getting a second chance at life. But they had to die first. So, there is a sense of when the judgment card comes out, what gets us to that place of transformation is if you're not, and it's something that I've said this to a lot of people that, when they get judgment card, if you're not at that point where you think, I cannot take anymore, like I can't take anymore, then the judgment card or Pluto is not done doing what has to be done here now. There's still more change that has to come. And it's a brutal energy. And I think, we downplay it, we make it sound nice because the end result is nice. It's wonderful. We get to transform, we get to change, we come to this great place of realization where we can draw a line under the past, we can move forward, we can face our futures without fear. But something has to have gotten us there, and that's kind of what this is talking about. I always see it as a review, like a judgment is called for. That's why it's called the judgment card. And sometimes it's to do with, we look back over what we've been through, and it can be to do with forgiving people, forgiving ourselves a lot of the time, or just coming to terms with everything that's happened, taking the lessons from that, and then moving forward. And that can be difficult. I think, like forgiveness, as I always say, it's the F word. People don't like to forgive. Not because, we're horrible people or anything, because forgiveness has a sense of condoning what the person did to us or condoning what we did to ourselves. And it's not about that. We don't forgive to condone. It's to do with releasing ourselves because we're the ones that can get caught up in not forgiving. It's like whatever was done to us, whatever that affliction was that we can't forgive, it hurts us anew when we can't forgive. So it's a process. It takes a while to get there. But yes, Aquarius, with judgment in the past, you guys have gone through it. You've gone through it. You've looked, you've kind of let go of all of that in the past. You've released it all. You've faced the kind of the lessons that needed to be learned, the difficult experiences. Now you're ready to face the future without fear and to move forward. That's why you have the star in your present. Beautiful card, beautiful energy. My God, like, I'm actually glad I shuffled for this reading on screen, because I think everyone would have just thought I'd picked the cards, handpicked them. I don't think I could have even handpicked these cards better. So the star is in the present. The star is to do with hope returning. Now, going through judgment, that is dark night of the soul. That is going through some very intense, very difficult energies, but it gets you to a brilliant place, right? And the star is that beautiful place. Now with this, it's not always, it's wish fulfillment, right? But I don't always see that the wish comes true with this. I know some people do, but I don't always see that. With this, I feel like it's the card that comes after the tower in the tarot. So when everything has collapsed, when you're left there in rubble and, you know, your life is just falling to shit around you, the star shows up, and it's the star that guides you to your dreams. It says everything's not lost. There's a helping hand here. There is still hope. There's a new beginning ahead. This is healing. This is healing energy. So as much as I'm saying, you know, with the what, like, let's have a look. So you have the world card sat above the star, right? So as much as great as that sounds, you know, completion of a cycle, everything's brilliant now. It's not, because we still have to release something. So the star card is healing. So whatever cycle you've been through, whatever difficult lessons were taught to you during that cycle, the star card is there healing all of that and saying, you know, we're going forward. There's a new beginning. There is healing here. I always say the present card, it's the main energy for this period. And the star card is the card for Aquarius. So, you know, what better energy than to have than your own energy, your own card coming up as the main energy for this period. So for some of you, there's going to be this thing of healing. And now healing sounds marvelous, right? It's like, oh, that's soothing and it's like a balm. It's not. Sometimes the healing itself can be more painful than when whatever happened to us happened. It can be more painful than that, having to get over the wounds that have been inflicted. I'm not really getting that in your reading because there's this sense of completion. This is the end stage. I think it's that moment that everyone waits for, like, you know, when's the work going to be done? When do I get to see a new project or start a new project or start a new relationship? Or when's the return of hope? Like sometimes we can be slogging it out, really going through the work that, you know, we've had to do. And this feels like this is the end of the tunnel. That's what it kind of feels like, you know, when you come out the other end of the tunnel, and there is hope here. Now, you have the Nine of Cups and the Star card. So those are great cards of manifestation. If you've been trying to manifest a dream, I don't think this is something that's just given to you, though. It's not like a gift, an unseen gift that comes from nowhere. It's not that. It's not that. I feel like this is a long process. Yes, I'm doing a mid-monthly reading, but tarot timings are strange. I always say that. And I always feel like the energy from the past and, you know, this kind of the foundation of the reading, it shows you what led you here. Obviously, you don't need to be told what you went through because you know. But it comes up in a reading so we can see why we're in the present. And it's the contrast. It's the contrast between judgment and the star, which is really saying to me that this is that place, Aquarius. This is that place that, you know, and I have an Aquarius sun, so I know that we've been working towards, that we've been that kind of fabled kind of place that, you know, when is this going to end? It's ended. The judgment card shows that. The world card shows that. Yes, you're in that transitional phase. It can feel like no man's land when you're in between the past and, you know, just kind of headed towards your future. But the hope is there now. The hope has returned. There is guidance now. Even if you might have thought that this wish is, you might have given up on your wish. You might have given up on your dreams. Now, either you have new ones or there's a revival within the dreams and the wishes that you've had. This is a beautiful reading. I mean, I'm trying to find a kind of negative to it, to at least kind of give it a more well-rounded meaning, because the energies, they're on a spectrum. Some of us experience them at a much greater level, a much kind of brighter level. Some of them come at a dark level. There's no such thing as a like totally, completely great message that can get to everyone. We're all going to experience it differently. But I can't really find it with this one. And as if like all of that letting go, moving on, transitional energy isn't enough, it's confirmed in the future when we have the Fool coming up. Now the Fool, it's zero. It's numbered zero in the major arcana. So it's not, I always say it's not the true beginning. I always think the Magician is the true beginning of the tarot. This is that in-between phase. It's in between, it's right after the World. So we have the World card first, where everything's ended. And then this is when we decide to go again. This is when we have that new beginning and we think, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go again. I'm going to set out on a new adventure. Now, if we look at the Fool, I hope my arm wasn't blocking the mic there. If we look at the Fool, I always say, look, he's standing at the edge of a cliff. He's standing at the edge of the cliff and look at him. He's just loving it. He's looking around himself. He's enjoying the view. He's full of excitement and trust. He wants to go on this adventure. He's ready to go again. But he doesn't really have anything with him. Yes, let's see. He has this little knapsack, if you can see that, on his back. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have anyone. Well, he has that little dog. I always think the little dog shows there'll be people that are loyal to us. Although in this one, look at that dog. Is he trying to push him off the cliff or trying to stop him from going too close to it? And that's another thing. I always think the Fool is ready to stand at the edge of the cliff because he knows even if he falls off, he'll land on his feet. This is kind of very trusting, excited. I just want to see everything. I'm looking forward to this trip kind of energy about this card. So when the Fool comes up, it's telling you there's no guarantees. Like you're getting ready to go again. You're getting ready for a major new life cycle to begin. We have the World and the Fool in the same reading. So you have this major cycle beginning, but it takes a leap of faith. You won't have a map. You've got no guarantees. You've got no assurances that, everything's going to be marvelous. And indeed, the Fool, he doesn't think his trip's going to be great. He doesn't think nothing bad's going to happen. He has faith in himself that no matter what happens, he can deal with it. It's that landing on his feet kind of thing. And I think that's what's kind of coming up for you, Aquarius, that, you're going to have an opportunity to start again, a new life cycle. It's major arcana. So I always say major arcana energy, they're not really bullets that we can dodge. Like they come at us. We're kind of propelled forward by the events that happen in life. So there's a major new life cycle beginning for you and you're ready for it. With the Star before the Fool, you're ready for it. You're ready for this new beginning. You've gone through the healing. You've done the dark night of the soul. And now we have the Fool coming up. But it's going to take that final leap of faith. Now, what's going to decide whether you're ready for that leap of faith or not is what's your dream? What's your wish? How bad do you want it? That's what I always say. When the Nine of Cups comes out with the Fool, how bad do you want this? Now, and also that's going to direct which way the Fool goes, right? What is it that you're wishing for? So whenever the Nine of Cups comes out, I think the most important message of the Nine of Cups is, what is your wish? Become very clear on your intention, on what your dream is. And half the time that can be a problem. We don't know. We don't know what we want. Or, so we're not sure. But this is like becoming crystal clear. This is my wish. This is my dream. And I'm ready to go out and get it. I'm ready to set out on that new adventure. And your advice here is yes. Go with your passion. Oh gosh, can you even see this? It's the Ace of Wands, and aces are the potential for new beginning. So it's another new beginning card. But if it's the advice, what is it telling you to do? It's telling you to go with your passion. Now, that's not something that, not to say that Aquarians don't have, we are very passionate. We have passions as well, but we can usually come from a place of logic. We can figure it out that logically, this is what we need to do. This is not about logic. This is where does your passion lie? Are there new creative projects that you want to start? And this is going to feel strange for some of you because we have Judgment above this card. There we go. Oh, so with Judgment above the Ace of Wands, like you've not had an opportunity to put out your passions or your creativity. Because Judgment, if you look at, I always think of energy as like coming in or going out. So when judgment energy can be very oppressive, like it's coming down on us. And we're having to deal with things. We're looking back. It's very kind of introspective and we're reflecting on what's happened. It's that review. I always say it's like a review and then there's a call for action afterwards. But we can't act until we know what we want or where we've been. Or, think about the cycle that we've just been on. And the Ace of Wands now, that turns around. This is we're ready to direct that energy outwards. Because Wands is all about our passions, our creativity, the energy that we put out into the world. So for those of you that want to start new projects, that's showing up here. For those of you that, in love life, there could be someone who's very exciting right now, or even if there's no one around, you now have that enthusiasm and that excitement to begin something new, to maybe begin dating. But let's have a look. The oracle cards are right down here. Let's have a look and see how these energies play out with the oracle cards. The first two are going to be kind of more romance, love-based, and then the other two are more general. So we'll tie them in. But let's have a look at what the romance angels have for you. Love that reading. Amazing, Aquarius. Oh, that one flipped, huh? This one. Let your friends help you. And the message here is ask for and accept support from others. Now, Aquarius, you are always there for your friends, right? You're very loyal. Your friendships are very important to you. There's nothing that came up. The whole of the reading, it's very, very personal. It is very personal. But now, like, if you're starting something new, especially if you imagine you've been through judgment, dark night of the soul. Some of you may have been away from people, not really interacting, being as social, because, wands can be a social energy as well. It's creative, passionate, like interacting with other people. I always see this as the most social energy. Cups can be as well, but that's at a more emotional level. Wands is more interacting with people, I think, because it's action. So let your friends help you. It's saying that, if you want to get back out there and you haven't done it for a while now, maybe ask your friends, especially if you're trying to date. Sometimes, our friends know us better than we know ourselves, and they might have someone in mind who would be good for us. If you're in a relationship and, then that doesn't really count because you don't want to hook up with someone else. But if you're in a relationship, and this could just be talking to your friends. Sometimes it's good. How do you dream? Yes, you can lie in bed and dream up something, but sometimes talking about your dreams with friends helps as well. So what kind of person do you want? If you're interested in someone, get your friends to kind of understand that, this is the person I want. Do you think that person will be good for me? And they'll tell you the truth. If you've got good friends, they'll tell you the truth. All right, let's see what we have from... Oh, okay. Oh, and this says, consider your foundation. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. That's that 9 of Cups. What is your dream here? What do you want? You have a solid foundation. Like, I'm not going to even doubt that. With judgment coming up as a past energy, the foundation of the reading, and the star, which I feel like this is the end of that healing phase. The final healing is coming in. It's a very spiritual card as well, the star. So, you might have a new spiritual practice that you've started, or just a different meaning. Like you see things in a different light. I know that happened to me in a lot of ways over the past year, 2 years, but it can be that kind of energy of looking at things in a different way, having a new kind of spiritual meaning for things. And all of this stuff that you've been through, and we've been complaining since last year, that things are tough, or the experiences, every experience that you've had, that's judgment. It's built this solid foundation now that you have. And that's why you're able to build on that and to push off and go into this new cycle and start something new.